Yeah, I'm Adriana from The Good Cycle, and I'm pretending that I'm actually doing this video another day, but you're gonna see I'm wearing the same clothes. Jane is here, you know, my teacher. It's just that we live a bit far away from each other, and I just thought, you know, she's so juicy and she holds so much wisdom. I thought I'd just do another interview, but you're gonna be seeing this, you know, another way. Anyway. So Jane, I'm very interested, I wasn't initiated into menstruation in a very powerful way, and I had to work to get to know my menstrual cycle, and now I love my menstrual cycle and all that stuff. But there are not many role models out there to make me look forward to menopause, which is my next rite of passage. And I Google and I research, and I can't find many positive things at all about menopause. It's almost like more a taboo than menstruation and childbirth. So I don't know, I know you're going through it, and I'd love to know your experience.
Yeah, well, it's been such a great teacher for me, and I too have had to search for positive role models, and they're there, and I'm really grateful for the women who have gone before us and all they teach us. And I give great thanks to them, particularly Dr. Christiane Northrup. She has a lot of awesome stuff to say, a lot of awesome stuff to say about a lot of things, but particularly menopause. And she calls it the mother of all wake-up calls. So she says that everything that you've swept under the carpet all your life, like in other words, oh, I hate this, but oh well,
I'm going to carry on doing it.
I'm just going to carry on doing it and ignore it. Everything that you've tried to ignore, which actually doesn't work, comes out at menopause. Because menopause is a rebirth. It's a time when it's another labour. And what you're birthing, bringing to life, is the wise woman version of you, the woman that's going to be you for the second half of your life, basically. And so it's the time when we labour, like having babies, labour and birth our new selves. So what I have learned through the process of going through it myself, so I'm now about a year and a half since my last bleed, which was a year and a half after my last bleed. So it's kind of like something that you never know when it is either. Same as birth, same as menarche, it comes when it comes. And our culture sees menopause as a terrifying time of undesirable and dangerous symptoms. Don't worry, there's medication. And like, I don't want to judge anybody for using hormone replacement therapy. I know that everybody does what they need to do in every given moment. And my role in this is about presenting another option and another perspective. So if menopause is a rite of passage into the rebirth of us, then it is not some isolated incident, it is the culmination of our life thus far. So what I discovered in my experience of perimenopause, around menopause, is that I went through, firstly unconsciously, but I was able to see that I was doing it. So I had some consciousness to notice what I was doing unconsciously. I was as if I was playing out the same things that I needed to learn through my giving birth times. So I started my process around being with the symptoms of menopause with the same attitudes, fears and beliefs that I went into motherhood with, like to giving birth. So what I realised and what I want to share with everybody is that if you go over all the experiences of your womb in your mother phase of your life, and write the stories out and figure out, what did I learn about myself in that experience? And hopefully you're doing this in the moment and during your motherhood phase, because then you take that learning to the next experience already with that, so that you can learn the next thing and the next thing. If you don't do that, you just keep having the same experiences over and over until you learn what you need to learn. Because we have the birth we need to have to teach us what we need to learn about ourselves, to take us to the next place on our journey to wholeness. So the next place on our journey to wholeness is the menopause process. So figure out what you learned about yourself from each of your experiences of birth, whether that was an abortion or a miscarriage or whatever, and then take those to your experience of menopause, so that you can go there already full of what you've learned so far. And then in my experience and in the women that I advise this to, it's a much smoother thing, because it's you arriving at the altar of menopause already remembering everything that you've learned, and then it's the experience you need to have. It doesn't mean that you don't have hot flushes. It means that you get what the hot flush is about, because it's your body talking to you.
So it's not about suppressing the symptom of the hot flush, but understanding what she's bringing to you, or whatever.
And what arises for you in the experience of that, because that'll be the same old, same old.
Okay, yeah.
So if you come back to your same old with a new thing of, no, actually, I know that one of my deepest lessons in this life is to trust.
Yeah.
And then if you trust, then it's a different experience than if you fear it. And then if you trust the process, then you can receive what the process is offering you. And that'll be some sort of teaching about your resilience, your strength, or whatever it is you need to learn. So it's a very personal journey, just like childbirth, just like menstruation. And I really think that it's a look into what the individual soul journey is this lifetime. So I think that menopause is a thing to welcome in its time. A big wave to ride, because it could go on for a decade. And I think that the wisdom gained through that process and then lived in that next season of your life, which I've been taught to call Marga, is what our culture needs.
Embracing the wise woman instead of suppressing her. And because there's so much that I see so many older women that get past 50, and instead of really embracing the wise woman in themselves, they try to go back into their 20s. They try to do Botox or whatever, which is not a bad thing. I'm not saying, it's just that then we lose, my generation of women loses role models to look up to, because then we get older and then we try to pretend we're younger. Because our culture is fixated on youth and beauty, but of at one age. Like the pre-mother 22, 23-year-old beauty, and there is so much plastic surgery that happens around perimenopause. Women think and feel they are invisible. There's a magnificent poem that I read by David Whyte just the other day called Midlife Woman, and I really suggest that those of you going through that, it's divine. So you're saying that hormone replacement therapy is not a bad thing, but if you choose to go this way, you're gonna miss the opportunity to look into the depth of the symptoms and everything that's happening. Okay. So any advice to women that are going through it and it feels maybe unbearable to them, and they're really struggling with some of the symptoms, or they really don't know, maybe their marriages are breaking up or their worlds are falling apart? So is there anything you'd say to these women?
Like to find their truth in it, because the things that are breaking down are the things that haven't got strong foundations, and they've probably been like that all their lives. So it's deep spiritual work, and once it's seen for that, then the power of the feminine will return.
And it's okay, maybe also it's okay to break down. It's okay to have a breakdown, so that maybe instead of holding on, sometimes we hold on for dear life to things that are, as you said, don't have good foundations.
Just look to nature. This menopause is like the autumn. Letting go, beautiful colour of the leaves, and the letting go and the composting, the contemplation and reflection. Everything about autumn is what menopause is all about.
That's awesome. That's a good summary. All right, so if I got you curious, you can ask your questions, post your comments, and I'll post James' link below as well. Thanks for watching. Lots of love.